Okay, quick story time on how I found out the man that I married was cheating on me. So if you haven't already seen my previous video, I would definitely recommend that you go watch that because it'll give like a lot of context and get you caught up to where we are here in this story. So that way I don't have to like backsplain so much stuff. I am going to give you guys a little bit more context, but start with that video and then come watch this video, okay? That video was telling you how I ignored all the red flags, all the warning signs, and basically went against my better judgment and married a man that I had no business marrying. Looking back, I should have knew better. And it's okay, because next time I'm going to do better. But let's go ahead and get into the story on how everything came out that I was married to a serial cheater. So, just to add a little context before we get into the story, throughout my marriage with this man, I was always having dreams that he was cheating on me. Like, I was having dreams multiple times a year, and I could never confirm anything. I could never prove anything because his phones would always be clear. Like, I had his password. Phones was clear. I had his location. You know, it was always showing him where he was supposed to be when he was supposed to be there. He wasn't coming home from work late. There was just nothing out of the ordinary other than me just feeling like intuitively something was off. You know, like I just had that feeling like my woman's intuition was screaming, and then I was having the dreams, but I couldn't like prove anything. And when I will always come to him and like confront him, like, look, I feel like something's going on. I feel like you're doing something. I know something's going on. He would gaslight the hell out of me. I remember this man said to me, babe, I know we've been going through a lot. I know there's, our marriage isn't perfect and it's been rough lately. And there's a lot of things going on that we need to work through. But one thing we don't have to worry about is infidelity. You never have to worry about infidelity. That's the one thing that is not a problem in our marriage. Mind you, infidelity was the whole damn problem in the marriage because that's all that man was doing, was out throwing his Peter whacker in the damn streets. So also let me put this in too before we get into what happened. So in 2021, he went on a guy's trip. And on this guy's trip, again, it was like my woman's intuition was just screaming. He had told me about some people he met at the resort and, they had a great time and all these people he was talking to. And it was this one particular woman and her husband there. And he was telling me about them and, just whatever, all the different things and da da da. And I felt uneasy about this situation with this particular woman he met there. And of course, he just played it like, no, everybody was just cool. Everybody, the vibes was nice, da 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 da. And something always was just, it never sat right with me with this trip, right? It was just something off. And I remember one night while he was on the trip, I literally woke up in the middle of the night while he's on this trip, and I just woke up in a panic. I woke up in a panic, and I was just like, I knew, like I'm just telling you, I knew. I was just like, something is off. Again, I'm thinking I'm tripping. At this time, I'm 1 year postpartum and still in postpartum depression. So I'm like, am I just dealing with this PPD and just making everything something? But I felt it. Women, trust your intuition, trust your dreams. When you feel something, when you see something, it's probably because there's something there, okay? Do not ignore what you feel. So that was in 2021. But, again, he played it like everything was just cool. Everything was normal. There was nothing. So now let's go 2 years down the road, January, February of 2023. I went on a fast, okay? I went on a fast because things in our marriage was just a hot mess. Like we were at what I thought was the worst. Little did I know it was about to get worse, okay? This was not the worst. It was going to get even worse. So I went on a fast because I just really needed like some clarity because I was just like over the marriage. I was done. We had just sold our house November of 2022, okay? And we had got a rental a townhouse rental, and the plan was for us to buy a new build. So sold the house November 2022. Now this is January of 2023, January, February 2023. So like 3-4 months later, and or 2-3 months later. And so I'm just like, I'm not feeling confident about buying another house with him, because at this point, I'm just like, I don't even know if I'm gonna still be in this marriage. Like, it was just so much going on. Mind you, I still don't know about all the cheating, but it's just a huge breakdown and disconnect between him and I. And it was just like so much tension for what I couldn't understand why. But now we know why, because when your man is out in the streets humping on everything, it's going to cause a breakdown between you and him, right? So I go on this fast, and I'm like, okay, I need to pray. I need clarity. It was for me. Like, I just needed to know what was going on and what I needed to do. I do a fast from Friday to Sunday, just water. After I came off of that fast, I heard very vividly, it probably was about, I don't know, a few days after I came off this fast, I heard very clearly, he's going to confess. He's going to confess. That's what I heard. It was just like, it just dropped. And I remember thinking like, okay, what is he confessing about? What's about to happen, God? What is it? So a few days after that, maybe a week later, I heard very vividly, he slept with that woman. And I knew the woman was the woman from the trip in 2021. Like, I just knew it. Like, I knew that what I was hearing, it was referencing the woman from 2021. And so I was just like, my heart dropped. And I was like, I knew it. I knew he slept with that woman. I knew he slept with her. And so I was just like sick to my stomach. So I was trying to wait it out, right? Because I had already got confirmation that he was going to confess. So I'm like, let me wait it out and see how long it's going to take for him to confess. But at this point now, I'm just ready to like confront him. I'm hearing all of this, and I know that it's real. I know I'm not going crazy anymore. So the day after I heard directly and distinctly that he slept with that woman, he was at work, and I was just like, you know what? I can't take this. I'm about to call him. Like, he needs to tell me everything. So I called him at work, and I was like, I don't know what's going on with you. And I know that you've been lying to me. I know that you've been cheating on me. And you need to tell me what the hell is going on, or I'm leaving. You need to tell me what's going on today, because I'm tired of you gaslighting me. And he was quiet. And then after I finished talking, he said, okay, when I get home, we can talk. Yeah, when I tell y'all, my heart was in my ass, because I was just like, oh my God, I knew it. And what the hell is he about to tell me? Because this is something else I knew. I knew that there was more. I knew it wasn't just her. I knew there was more. Because again, this has been these dreams and all of this weirdness and this energy and this just having these feelings. This has been going on for years. Okay. That situation on the trip was just 1 year. That was just 2021. I was having dreams prior to that. I was having dreams after that. So I'm like, oh my God, you dirty dog. Like, how much is it? What have you been up to? So he comes home. We sit on the couch in the living room, and he's like rocking back and forth. He's very performative too, because he's a narc. So everything he does is very performative and is not genuine. So he's like, listen, the chick in 2021 when I went on vacation, I slept with her. I did. And it's been eating me up, and I've been really wanting to get this off of my chest, but I was just too scared. And I don't want to carry this around no more. I don't want to carry this dark secret around no more, because it's been eating me up. It's been eating me up. And I'm just sitting there watching him, and I'm just letting him carry on, and he's putting on all this like emotion, and he's just doing all the things. And what I'm noticing as I'm watching him, Beyond him, like I'm not even focused on the fact that he's confessed that he cheated on me 2 years ago, because not only did I know it, but I got the confirmation a day prior. So I was already like mentally prepared. Um, but at this point, I'm noticing how fake he is, how like his emotion is not real. All the like he's like he was just in such performance mode. And I was just looking at him and watching him, and I'm like, he wasn't really remorseful. He wasn't really empathetic. He wasn't really sorry. It was all fake. It was just him putting on a show to come across like he was empathetic, and he felt, when he was talking about he felt shameful, he didn't feel shameful. He needed to make me feel like he felt shameful. He needed me to think that he felt guilty. He didn't feel guilty at all. And I was watching that, and I just remember looking at him like, wow, he's really performing right now. Like you're not even for real. I didn't say this to him. I'm just watching. I'm just observing. And I let him carry on. And I said, after he finished telling me that, I asked him questions about what happened. And because I'm the type of girl, I want the deets, run it down from top to bottom. So he gave me the first story. And what I mean when I say the first story, because over the course of that year, this story would change every time, because I will always catch him in a lie, or he would tell me the story and then I will walk away, and maybe a day later something would like pop in my head like, this doesn't make sense because of this. And when I tell you, every time he told me this story, it was a different story. Okay. So let's just hold that. So he gave me the first story for that day. And I was like, okay. And I walked off, and um I feel like that night I told him to leave. I feel like I had him leave that night. I feel like I had him leave that night, but I'm not completely sure. I know when I left to go upstairs, he followed me shortly after. Then we kind of like we argued. That's when it got a little bit more intense once he came upstairs. And I feel like I told him to leave that night, but I'm not totally sure. It was definitely like some tension for the next couple of days. So now this is like opened up Pandora's box. And like I said, I know that there's more, because like I said, I was having dreams prior to 2021. I was having dreams prior to this trip. I was having dreams after the trip. And so now I begin to question him about everything, because now I'm like, you didn't just go on vacation and just sleep with a random woman on vacation for the first time. You've been cheating. You've been doing this. This is your element. This is your element. This is why it was comfortable for you to do that, because this is what you've already been doing. No, I swear, babe, I swear. I swear. And I began to press him for answers, to confess about things, and he was super adamant that there wasn't anything else. We went back and forth for a couple weeks with me just, you need to tell me everything. You need to tell me everything. That was always what, you need to tell me everything. And he was always there. There's nothing else. I swear. I swear on everything. Let me tell you something. He was swearing on our child. Okay. This man was swearing on our child. So I had a trip coming up. When was I going on my trip? April? I think I was going away in April. Um, I was going to Asia in April. And I remember the weeks leading up to this trip. Again, I was having so many just like spiritual encounters, just like all these spiritual downloads. Just, oh my God. That's how I know like God was truly on my side and was just really like, no, I'm about to wake you up from all of this. All of what we bringing all of this stuff out. It's all coming out. So prior to me going on this trip, I told him and my sister, I was like, this trip, there's gonna be some type of like clarity breakthrough. Something is gonna happen on this trip that's going to like just open up. And I didn't know what it was. I was like, but something, I'm gonna have some type of like awakening, clarity, something on this trip. And I kept saying that and I knew it. I knew it. So I go on this trip, and during the trip, I was in the shower, y'all. Oh, it's giving me chills talking about it. I was in the shower while I was on this trip, and I had like this outer body supernatural experience because I wasn't asleep. It was while I was awake. I was in the shower, and I'll never forget. I just like closed my eyes to put my face in the water. And as I closed my eyes, ooh, it's giving me chills. I closed my eyes to put my face in the water. And as I closed my eyes, I saw, it was like, this is how it showed me. It showed me him, a vision of him. And then it was like, what is it called? It was like oh my God, what is it called? It was showing me like, not a snapshot, but like all these women that he had encountered or dealt with. And he was just, and in him, he was just like smiling and like entertaining them. But it was like I had the vision while I was awake. And what it was revealing to me was everything I knew. It was just confirming that like there were numerous women. It was showing me like a pattern over the years. And it was showing me all these women, all these women. And I remember I was like, I took a deep breath and I just felt like, again, sick to my stomach. Yeah, I ended up leaving my trip early. I ended up coming home about 4 days early behind this. Um, and this, again, this man is so dark and evil because I begged you for this information for months. And you waited until I went on this trip. And I had to have this vision for you to like confirm a little bit more. So I got out the shower and I called him immediately. Mind you, there was like a, I don't know, 8 hour time difference. And I couldn't tell you what time it was, but I didn't give a damn. I called them and I was like going off. You need to tell me everything. I was just like going off. I know that there's more women. Stop lying to me. Because again, at this point, he still wants me to believe that it was just the one girl in Cancun. And I get him on the phone and then he tries to tell me that he lied to me about what happened again. Now he just wanted to like tell me, okay, the story wasn't true for like the 10th time. And I was just like, no, I don't want to hear that. Like, I want to know about all the other women. Who have you been dealing with? I need to know everything. Y'all, because I was having like literal like visions. Like it was given like that so Raven. Like I kid you not. Like, and it was bugging me out. Like this, like when I tell you my spirit guides, God, and like they was all collectively like, look, we about to give you everything now. Like you need to know everything. Because apparently, the dreams weren't enough at this point. So I'm just like going in on him. You need to tell me the truth. You need to tell me the truth. And he ended up telling me about another woman. But that was it. That was it. That was it, babe. That was it. I swear. I just didn't want to tell you because I know right now it's just things is really tense and it's just too much. So yeah, I got off that phone. I called the airline to ask how much would it be for me to book my ticket back home early. I paid that early fee. I think it was like $300, maybe $400 for me to leave a little earlier. I paid that fee and I left the next day. I went back home the next day because at this point the trip was over. Like I couldn't enjoy the trip. You know what I'm saying? Trip over. Go back home that next day. Mind you, it takes me 12 hours to get home. This is a 12-hour flight. Get back home the next day. I come in the house. Mind you, I'm a mess. I'm a mess. And I have a conversation with him and I'm going off. Now he's confessing about his coworker. Now he's like, y'all, when I tell y'all over the course of the rest of that year, even into 2024, this man would literally reveal to me that he had been cheating on me in the entire marriage. Not only had he been cheating on me the entire marriage, was cheating on me before we got married. And I'm gonna save a story time for something like a even bigger plot twist because that's a whole nother video, but it gets so much darker. But this didn't happen in one day. This didn't happen in one week. The confessions. I'm talking about this man wanted to like breadcrumb me with confessions. A little bit here, a little bit here. And I'm like, nigga, pull the band-aid off, rip the band-aid off. He would not. He spent a year breadcrumbing me with confessions. And mind you, to this day, I know for a fact I still don't know all of it. At this point, it doesn't even matter. But this man had been literally cheating the entire marriage. Was cheating on me before the marriage, was cheating on me during the engagement, was cheating shit during the damn wedding, after the like when I tell you he was demonic, he was dark, I was being told through my dreams that he was cheating. And again, because I had no way to prove it, every time I would go to try to look up stuff, I couldn't find anything. It was like pulling teeth to get this man to confess. But it was literally dreams in my intuition, dreams in literal, like just spiritual downloads, just God was just showing me things. Like after a while, I didn't even have to go to sleep. Like he was just showing it to me, just giving it to me. Like, no, this is what's happening. Don't let him play with you. Because this man, he was trying to deny it to no ends. And then he was also mocking God. This is how crazy he is. He was mocking God. He would literally tell me, babe, listen, God showed me that we're going to be together and our relationship is going to be stronger and better than ever. We're meant to stay together. Mind you, God is exposing him and also guiding me to leave him. Not only is God guiding me to leave him, but he even showed me how you're never going to be at peace if you stay with this man. And this man is trying to convince me that God told him that we're going to be together and our relationship is going to be stronger than ever. Mind you, the whole time he's still lying and still manipulating me. Also, he started doing this thing where he said God told him to write me letters every morning. Mind you, God ain't telling him nothing. He don't have an ear for God. Like he's too dark. He's too demonized. Like this was just all made up. This was just all manipulation. This was just all him being super performative to try to pacify me, to try to just like he had to find a way to manipulate his way back in because he knew I was done. I was done. So yeah, I didn't find out he was cheating because I seen stuff in his phone. It wasn't because I went through his emails or I pulled up on him somewhere or I caught him. None of that happened like that. And for the record, to go back to like how everything was so normal. So this is what he was doing. Number one, for the most part, he was not like conversating with any of these women through his phone. Like none of them. Anybody who did have his number, which was mostly his customers or his coworkers, they would use WhatsApp. And he would delete that stuff. But for the most part, he was doing all of his cheating during work hours because the work that he did, it was like very independent. So he's not like restrained to like a desk or an office space. He can like go and come as he want. You know, they're pretty independent. So he would literally be at work and he would leave work to go, over her house or whoever was the meat of the week. You know what I'm saying? But all of this was happening during his work hours for the most part. And then obviously with the vacation trip, he did that on vacation. So this is why everything looked clean. Also, everyone that he was cheating with knew that he was a married man. They all knew me. Like I said, a lot of the women were coworkers, some customers, and for the most part, he made it known that he was married because he wanted them to be aware of that. So like he was like, we have an understanding that I'm having fun with y'all. We having fun, but I do have a wife. So that was kind of like his energy with them. But yeah, everything was going on while he was at work. He would be at work. So I thought, but really he was at somebody's house during work hours. Fucking. Yeah. And then he would come home like he's a hardworking man after he'd been working hard, throwing his dick all around. Yeah. But ladies, if you are having dreams, don't ignore them. If your intuition is screaming at you, don't ignore it, okay? I don't care if you can't prove it. If you feel that something is off, if you feel it strongly, it's because something is off, okay? It took that man 2 years to confess. I knew for 2 years that something was off and I could not prove it. And he confessed after 2 years. Mind you, there was stuff even prior to that that happened that took him 3, 4 years later to confess. But any and everything that I had an inkling that was off or wasn't right, it all proved to be true. Everything. Everything I went back and asked him about, it was all something there. Everything. There was nothing that I was wrong about. And like I said, I know that there's stuff that I hadn't found out about. And to this day, there's stuff I probably still don't know, but it don't even matter no more. Like that man is on his way and we're good. But do not ignore your intuition. Do not ignore your dreams. If something feels off, it's because it's off. Okay. So if you made it to the end, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And I'm going to give y'all a story time about what happened during the wedding. Because, baby, so stay tuned for that.